I just said, I think I know the answer to this already, but can I terminate this pregnancy here? And they said, no, you can't. You're pretty much on your own, unfortunately. My name is Jennifer Adkins. I am from Caldwell, Idaho, and in early 2023, we discovered that we were pregnant with our second child. I went into that appointment and I was really nervous, and I didn't really know why, because I hadn't had any indication that anything was wrong up until that point. And then pretty much immediately when the ultrasound tech put the wand on my stomach and I saw the baby, I knew something was wrong right away. And at our 12-week appointment, we got the devastating news that our fetus was not viable, and that not only was she not likely to survive the pregnancy, but that I was at risk of developing life-threatening complications on top of that. So because we live in Idaho, and this was at a time after Roe versus Wade was overturned, we were unable to terminate the pregnancy in the state of Idaho. You could tell they both were just horrified by not only the news that they're sharing with us that our baby is not going to make it, but that, that they can't even offer us any kind of support or services, to help. We spent the rest of that day calling different clinics because I knew then that the clock was ticking, because there's a lot of places where you can only terminate up to a certain point. So I knew at 12 weeks I was on a timeline, and I knew that these out-of-state clinics were probably already overwhelmed with people both in their own states and from out-of-state patients. And so I knew I had to get on it immediately. So I started calling different clinics, and I finally secured an appointment for the following week at a Portland clinic. In the state of Idaho, there is a total abortion ban. There are exceptions written into those laws that say the life of the mother, but they're so confusing and convoluted that physicians are afraid to act on that. They don't know at what point the law will protect them from prosecution if they were to perform an abortion. We're not talking like, oh, you get a slap on the wrist or you get a small fine. We're talking, in some states, life imprisonment and loss of medical license permanently, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines. And I understand why physicians don't want to risk that. So we did the procedure and we came back home, and we knew right away that we wanted to advocate for change. When I was making those phone calls and talking to people, they were like, you're not the only one. This is happening every single day. And I finally wound up getting a hold of the Center of Reproductive Rights, and they asked, would you be interested in joining a lawsuit? And I said, absolutely. I said, without a doubt, sign me up. Tell me what I need to do. Being the lead plaintiff in this case in the state of Idaho, to me is taking on that challenge of being a representative of all of the people who, for whatever reason, can't be a part of the case. This is a human rights issue, and it's something that we are going to stand for. And we shouldn't have to leave the place that we know and love and have lived our entire life because suddenly a couple of lawmakers have decided that their morals and values don't align with some of their constituents, or most of their constituents, I would say. Because we know the data shows that most Americans in general support abortion one way or the other. So we know that the extreme conservative values that are being played out in our laws right now and in these bans do not represent the majority of Americans, and certainly do not represent the majority of Idahoans. This is very taxing. Going on the news and having your pictures all over social media, it's putting on display the worst thing that has happened to your family. put that out for the world to kind of scrutinize and make judgment on and, say mean things about us. We knew that's what we were up against because we knew that was kind of the price to pay for advocacy work. If we can help use our voice to help protect future families from this happening to them, that's what we want to do. We get the question a lot, well, why don't you just move somewhere more liberal? Why don't you just move to California or Oregon or Washington where you could get that health care? And my answer is always the same. Our family is here. Our roots are here. My husband is a 6th generation Idahoan. That means my children are 7th generation Idahoans. Our blood and our roots run very deep here in the state of Idaho. And we as lifelong Idahoans want our lawmakers and the people making decisions for us, their constituents, to know that people like us exist in their state and that we want change and we demand change.